Metal Gear fans are eating good right now with the Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater remake getting top tier news this weekend from Tokyo Game Show. And I got you covered with a full recap of everything that happened at this show for you guys. It's really a lot. And I want you to get some popcorn and get a snack and a drink, kick back and throw this on. And if you have one of the older games, go ahead and put that on. You're looking at the menu right here. We're going to go through all the footage, everything we have. So just sit back and enjoy. We're not going to make long, short videos and give you guys a million videos to watch. It's going to be all in one. As you can see, this is the actual official producer going in and playing the demo. And the first thing that he talks about is the menu screen when you start up. While this is the Tokyo Game Show demo, the game will have this as its presentation. There's two versions to this. There's the legacy version, and then there's this modern day version. The legacy version is more of what we're used to, what we've seen in the past from the original game. And then this one is the new version. Now, the thing is, with this new version, you still can do some of the stuff you did with the previous one, which was change the colors, zoom in and out, things like that on this menu. And I mean, really, let's be honest, this isn't a big deal and it's not a big feature, but it's nice that they kind of upgraded it and updated it. So I'm curious about what y'all feel about just having those little functions that you're watching right here. And while we talk about that, I'm going to be running through literal non-stop information and details that we got, which is exciting, new, and amazing stuff. We literally got confirmation on things I've been worried about. I'm sure you guys been worried about as well. So it's a good time to just say, first of all, the Tokyo Game Show has gameplay. It has features. It has other people playing it, random players. And I'm going to showcase that a little bit too, so you can see some action. In this demo that they have here, they're mainly focused on giving you the new features. They didn't want to play through the mission. They just want to give you the new features. And as you can see right here, many different menus, easy and normal mode. They had different languages, which was very good. And then they showcase tons and tons of stuff. And by the way, I do have giveaways on the channel. Check out the comments so that you can enter and all of that good stuff. First thing I want to say here is the HUD is a new feature that is going to be very different than what you know. Normally the HUD is on the top left, but they put it right next to the player so that you won't have to look up or down or left or right for the modern version of the HUD. If you wanted to go with the retro version, you're going to have that in the options so that you can move the HUD as you feel. And I want to take a moment to talk about Snake's movement. As you saw, this kind of feels like the Phantom Pain / Ground Zeroes. He's very fluid and, you know, he's moving a little bit different than the original. So that is a good thing, in my opinion, because, you know, this is an older game and they're supposed to be making this remake for us to be able to get those upgrades and stuff like that. So you can see right here that even just climbing, it feels like a little faster than originally, where you had to do, you know, that input and wait for a second. And for those that haven't played this game, you know, apologies, some of the stuff I'm going to talk about you might not know from the original, but we are comparing it and kind of discussing the differences as we go. And speaking of differences, this is very cool. You can see Snake in the 3D version, and they talked about how you can skip the Kodak, or you can cut through to the middle of it to kind of get into the conversation and stop it where you want to listen. And I think this is cool. You can also just skip it completely, and they've had some of this features in the past, but now they're basically explaining that it's a lot better, more fluid for the user-friendly version, so you're capable to just enjoy and not worry too heavily about anything. And so I personally am excited about that. And then they showcased that you can actually skip a cutscene if you really wanted to speed run the game, let's say, or, you know, see how fast you can beat the game. All those little things, you can definitely go in here and then do that. So that's going to be a feature that a lot of people will use. And for me, I'm not going to use this. I really love the cutscenes and getting immersed in the universe and the storyline and so on. So I absolutely love it. We're not going to talk about graphics too much at this point for this demo because there's way too much to talk about as far as just visually, right? Snake's appearance and things like that. But there are other characters we will talk about. We want to talk about the mechanics and the gunplay. For example, here, this is the Phantom Pain. You're going to shoot with the trigger button. You don't have to do all this trickery like in the past games where you release the button to shoot. You press the button to shoot with the modern day controls. And that is super important. In my opinion, it's necessary to be able to give people the type of experience that they deserve. Personally, you know, I think it's good with the modern controls. I haven't played, so don't take it that I'm saying that I know that it's better, but I'm saying from the Phantom Pain, those mechanics are good to me, you know. And so he comes in here and he talks about a couple of different things like the compass. It has the objective, which is the yellow mark you see, and then it just has northeast, west, south. It's nothing special, but it is something important to think about that you can use. And there's a bunch of other items as well, but that is just an extra feature that you can definitely put on for your character. And speaking of features for your character, there's always something new with this game, and there's always something different that is special about this game than others and stuff like that when it comes to items and things like that. So you have the motion detector. It's going to tell you where there's like life, like, you know, some animals running around, things like that. And it's a very cool system. I think it's awesome in my opinion. And speaking of that, these alligators and cool stuff like that, we don't get to see them attack, but I love the fact that they basically are giving us all of this new good stuff that I'm excited for and cannot wait to get my hands on. And they definitely showcase a lot of stuff with the mud. They talked about how the mud will dry out and fall off if you keep it on there. So that's cool. Then they talk about these collectibles. These are throughout the map. They're bringing them back. I'm not going to focus on this because they kind of promoted their partnership with this. We're going to keep it moving from here and showcase some more things. You see the beehive where you can do some stuff. Now, this is important. All right. So let's say you get your suit dirty and you want to clean it up. They said you can go into your camo, but you can also do this by quickly equipping the camo. So you see right here, it's extra muddy. You're not going to be able to use it for the color you wanted. So changing into something different will be better for you. And so this is important. And you can see the viewer looks amazing, right? Look at Snake's hair. I think that the realistic feel to it is going to be you're getting your money's worth just from the visuals alone. But everything else, the texture on his outfit, all the different textures on his outfit, as a matter of fact, when you look at the backside, for example, and the straps, or everything just feels like, wow, okay, you guys did it, man. And I don't have a doubt about visuals. I think more so performance and mechanics, what is changing and what's happening. And I got some really good details and some exclusive footage that I'm going to showcase in a little bit. But yeah, so they did a good job presenting some of the features and discussing, you know, camo and things like that. And they talked about how if you get shot, that bullet wound's going to stay in your outfit. So if you get shot a lot, it's going to be in there. And you can change clothes all you want, but it's supposed to be staying there. So I'm curious how that's going to play out in the long run, in a full run. They talked about how you can press one button and switch camos right away. So right there, it takes 2 seconds to swap. And it's pretty awesome, if you ask me, because, you know, this game made you go all the way deep into a menu. And now you could just tap a button and switch on the fly, which I think is incredibly cool that they added that and made it very quick. It's better than having to go through the menu and clicking on this and clicking on that. So super key. And the same thing for the radio. Also, they also have the radio as a feature that you're able to just click and call. And it does pause the game, but you could just flick it very quickly without having to go into a menu first and then go into your radio. So I think that little speed up is a quality of life fix for the remake that's going to be very nice, especially for speedrunners or somebody who plays the game multiple times like myself, where I just want to be able to do that. And then they talked about the calorie mates. We're not going to get too deep into this. You guys know these are very cool, but we're going to skip ahead because it's more promotions. We're not here for that. So they have Snake with one of these. They show you can use it as a weapon. If you guys don't know and you're new to the series, you can throw this literally and distract an enemy. If it's rotten food, they'll, you know, get sick and run away and go to the bathroom or something. And if it's good food, they'll just eat it and you can get behind them or something like that. There's a lot of ways to play with that. And it's pretty cool in my opinion. And I definitely like it. They also confirmed, by the way, you can get into photo mode. You hold it up, there's photo mode, and you're going to be able to take poses and pictures. And I thought that's interesting. You know, in the modern day, that's necessary for a lot of games, and especially with social media, you can make something very cool. And I think that's awesome that they had there. And that's pretty much their demo, but I have a lot more gameplay. And we're going to get into it right now. And I want you guys to see right here. I want you to pay attention. And we are going to kind of go back and forth on this one because I don't want you guys to miss anything. So the explosion feels like Ground Zero's Phantom Pain and the way you fall off as well. And then the enemies, a very cool feature. You see the exclamation on their head right before they get exploded, by the way. Spoiler alert. Bang. And so it's looking good. The action's going to be great. And what you're seeing here is he's shooting the bridge to make them collapse, make them fall over. And this is a mechanic that's been in the game before, but it's really nice to see here that all of the old functions are pretty much still in the game in their own way. So that's pretty awesome. And then again, just showcase of swapping instantly into a different cameo. That's pretty cool. And one thing I want to confirm about this area, that it's exactly like it was. This is the original level design. Like there's not big changes where you're like, wait a minute, they messed this whole area up. It is originally 1-to-1, the original area. Enemies are in the same positions as you could see right here. That's more or less where there was always an enemy, and you're shooting with your gun, and it looks like the Phantom Pain type of gunplay. So when you look at it, he goes over the shoulder and then he zooms in. This is Phantom Pain style of gunplay. And that's a good thing. I don't look at that as a negative, but I love the fact that it's doable and smoother in that way. So personally, I do over the shoulder shooting. I feel like for people it's harder, but it just gives you more skill gap if you're able to shoot on over the shoulder while moving. And so absolutely love that. And then over here, again, confirming the collectibles. I don't know, this guy just randomly zoomed into another one of the frogs, and I believe it was a frog. Let's see. Yes, it is. So you got another frog there, and those are just things that are for promotional purposes. Again, calorie mate, for example, another promotional purpose. And so you're going to see a feature here, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, but there's a feature in this game where you can get yourself dizzy enough to do something terrible that's gross. You know, visual discrepancy warning. So he throws up, and so this is important because you might get poisoned in the game and you might need to throw up, or maybe you eat something rotten and throw up, right? So you can do it on demand at any time. Pretty cool. And they showed it, basically showing those features that already existed are still in this game. So I am so excited to kind of explore all of this on my own when I get the game. You guys know I love this series. It's my favorite series. And I know this game pretty well. I tend to try to forget games, but I cannot wait to see what's going on. And speaking of going on, he knocked out 2 enemies here. And I'm looking at the stars over their head. They're still going to be getting up, you know. But you can do a lot of different things. If you guys know, you can grab the enemies, shake them for some goodies and things like that. Wake them up, interrogate them. There's a whole lot of different things. Hold them up so that you can take their items, things like that. This person who's showcasing it, by the way, this is off camera, but the Creators Lounge allowed people to capture. And so in here, he showcased a couple of cool things that is very important when it comes to grabbing the enemies and how that works. It feels like it's the same as the original, but again, the mechanics have changed, so it should be a lot easier to be able to grab them and control the scenarios and situations, which to me is super key because, you know, sometimes it's not so friendly in the older game. I'm used to it, but in the modern day, it's going to be very different. I want to take a pause and talk about this. This is a crazy thing that we're seeing right here. Okay, this is the Phantom Pain. So you're able to roll, which is an old mechanic. But after you roll, the main thing I want you to pay attention to is that you're able to turn around fast and stay shooting while you're down and you're moving backwards. So it's just a cool Phantom Pain Ground Zeroes type of mechanic that is pretty awesome to have in an older game that's getting remade. So this feature right here, I know it looks like not a big deal, maybe not interesting to you guys, but for stealth gameplay, oh man, it is super fluid and necessary. And speaking of fluid, here we are grabbing somebody just to kind of give you a list of things you can do in the original game that I assume you can do here, which we see him do. He'll interrogate, he can choke someone out, he can slam them to the floor, he can cut their throat. You know, you can do all types of things with the character, and this is one of my favorite things about Metal Gear in general. It's just fun, you know, combat, and the fact that it's in the game, and you know, with these better graphics and better visuals, I think it's very cool. And when you hold someone up, if you aim the gun to their head, they'll end up, you know, giving up some item that they have and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. A little bit of graphic warning again. He might slit somebody's throat here. And again, the graphics and stuff that we're seeing is off camera. I don't know why they would allow people to record like this and then not have direct footage of the gameplay, which they should be releasing something, in my opinion. But that's just me. Have somebody play the demo and then just put it online. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, so he took the time. Shout out to homeboy here, who I'm gonna call him Sap. He has a weird name and I don't know his social media, but yeah. So this right here is the mud, and this is the big feature of like how things stay on you and it's not gonna just magically disappear the way they do in a lot of video games. And so to me, that is cool, and it's an awesome feature that they're going to be implementing for the future. And I want to kind of go through a couple of thoughts and a couple of key things for you guys while I discuss it, and we're going to showcase a little bit of the trailer while I talk about this, just giving some thoughts and feelings about the presentation so far and everything that they did. This story trailer actually spoils a lot of the plot. So if you're a new player, I don't know if that's a good thing. They shouldn't spoil anything. I think this game is so special story-wise that they just let players play it. Show some gameplay and then say, hey, if you're interested, check it out. But they did a good job presenting this, and you know, Kojima style. A lot of the main characters are in here, and you get to really know what happens to Snake in the beginning in the first couple hours. So super interesting and exciting to get this and get a look at the Metal Gear, get a look at the main villains and heroes and everybody in between. And there's so much good graphics that you could talk about when it comes to, for example, Vogan being badass here, the boss with her relentless behavior and the way she's visually got improved, actually. And then the one and only, my favorite character, Ocelot, the King of Kings. Hey, don't hate on him. He's looking spectacular, and he actually fits more in line with his true self in the older version of him. So when you play him in Metal Gear Solid 1, this is kind of what he looks like, an older version of. So I thought that was cool that they put him in here in that way. Whether you agree or disagree with the new character designs, the visuals are spectacular. You don't have to agree that Snake or anybody looks the way you want them. I get that. That's opinion. But overall, the visuals look spectacular. And again, they really presented the story very well. They basically told you everything that happens in the beginning. And that's the intro anyways. There's another 15, 20 hours after that where you can play and just experience the game. So you should be good. What we're going to do right now, and hopefully you guys are enjoying this because I'm not stopping, man. We don't stop out here. All right. We're going to go into some photos and some pictures. I have a lot of them, and I mean like endless amounts of pictures. Some of this stuff you already seen that we just showcased, but you're getting to see it in the menu. And I'm going to kind of skim through actual clips. Like, for example, this is an amazing one where you can see the old Snake and the new Snake, aka the same Snake, Naked Snake, in the beginning missions when he comes in. And you got to tell me, like, that is not worth the money alone. Just like the vision. This was you can sell me the game. You don't have to tell me anything else. Say, hey, they're making a remake. Check out the graphics. And I'm saying, I'm in. And maybe I'm just a diehard, which I am, but I don't know, man. I'm sold just off that alone. I'm just gonna be real, very honest with you guys. And then you have this image here. I mean, if we go down there's a long list of these, and I don't have them all in order. Try to put them together properly, but we got some of them in order. But this right here, wowzers, guys. So we're getting spoiled, okay? It's just my opinion. And there's just some really cool scenes, and we're gonna show some Tokyo Game Show stuff as well. And just look at Eve right here, okay? Look at Eve. Look at the improvements. I mean, it's night and day, guys. I can't make this up. All right, and this is what I was talking about earlier, where his young Ocelot, if you guys don't know, Ocelot's been in the series the most. He's like been there more than almost every character, a staple in the series, and you get to see him when he's old and when he's young. And this right here is a replica of him, and it's perfectly done in my opinion. And you gotta love it. You got to love it. And we're going to kind of skip through. I don't know what I have in here. I have endless amounts of stuff from Tokyo Game Show. So we're going to kind of discover this together. So here's the supplies. These are foods. When you pick some stuff up, you're going to be able to pick them up. And that's what they look like. They kept it original. This is, instead of keeping it like realistic, this floating devices that are there. Hey, it's a video game, okay? Nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. I absolutely love Ocelot, so let's not talk about him. They were selling a lot of merch at Tokyo Game Show. I mean, they really went all out. They know they're gonna have an amazing game of the year with the remake, but they're also selling out these merch items, and they had stuff at the stage where they showcased that they trying to sell as well, and even the calorie mates they were giving away at the show. They have these sweaters if you're interested as well. Again, I'm in it for the video game. I'm gonna be honest, but hey, more power to you guys if you want to buy that. And this is the king right here, the greatest Metal Gear character in the history. I mean, we can argue about it, guys. Leave it in the comments. Who's the greatest? You've been watching this long. Props to you. So this right here, to me, oh man, that's it, bro. You talk about Giga Chad. This guy is the king. And so here's the older version of the new version mixed together. Somebody blended it on social media. A lot of cool little details. You can see this is the original script with the old one. I'm sorry, the new one and the old one. And same with Big Boss. And this is one of the opening hours scenarios, stuff like that. So pretty amazing. And by the way, the PlayStation 5 Pro, this also got announced this week. They announced that the PlayStation 5 Pro will have enhanced version, which is super cool. I'm loving that. And definitely think about getting one of those, man. It's not a must-have, but if you have some extra money, why not? Why not? Now let's talk about Tokyo Game Show. They had hands-on for the media, and then by the time this video gets out there, everybody's going to have hands-on that's at Tokyo Game Show, which is very cool. I wanted to talk about this right here. The amazing to detail with his veins and the injuries, and it's intense. Like, sheesh, it's gonna be very cool. And these are the stations, and this is the setup. Looks amazing. I mean, I'll take that as my living room as long as you give me that demo. That right there, I'll keep that statue and put that in my living room as well, if you let me. And so this is kind of the upgraded versions of the characters, a little more authentic and true to themselves, which it was cool. Somebody playing cosplay, that was pretty cool, in my opinion. And this is the inside. They do an orientation and tell people like 15-minute long what to do, what you're gonna get, and all that good stuff. So pretty cool. And this is the show floor of people playing the actual game, and I don't know who that is, but yeah, we know who the main man is there. But yeah, and so very cool stuff. If you ask me, they did a good job overall presenting, and they gave people t-shirts, that hat, a sticker for the Foxhound, and then a literal calorie mate. I want one. I've never had one. Just out of curiosity, you know, like, what the heck are these things? Why are they so important? I know there's promotion for the game, but just curious about it. And so a lot of beautiful hosts, by the way. I gotta say, those ushers are pretty cool. And this right here is important. They changed the boss a lot throughout the years. The original changed from the 3D version, and then the pachinko version, and then in one of the previous trailers they changed her again because of community's feedback. So that is a good thing. It's a W for us. And of course, the king himself. Let's go. And so just amazing stuff. And what I could say, you know, out of my own heart, like, as a big fan, this is, I didn't know I wanted this, you know, and now I need it. It's kind of crazy like that. So very cool. Check this out from MGN. Okay. And then we got the same images, just the original versions. And this is pretty tight. Pretty tight stuff right here. Again, shout out to Jay for getting me a collection. There's a lot of good things in there. And one thing I just want to kind of point out before we go here and we get into some of the key things that I'm feeling or thinking is that this demo, you know, isn't the full game, and we don't know what other new things we can discover and how true is it to the authentic experience. There's still a lot of questions, and I'm okay with that. Feel free to drop what you're still concerned about, and also what you're excited about and what you're interested about. You know what I mean? I'm taking this time out to do a full-length video coverage with all the gameplay and all of the stuff that I have. I do have a Metal Gear Explain channel that explains all this one by one. Every time something comes out, I'm covering it because this is my favorite series. And so if you want to get over there and enjoy yourself, that's more, you know, I'm more than happy to just vibe with you guys over there. I do have giveaways for this game and in other channels as well. I have 3 channels partnered with YouTube, so I am giving away stuff for all of the channels, and you're welcome to be a part of it. You know, get informed, enjoy the process with me and vibe with me. Hopefully this was informative and helpful for you guys, and make sure you hit me up on my Discord if you want to chat and stuff like that about Metal Gear. All right, that's about it. I'm going to leave some videos for you guys to check out for more Metal Gear news from my Metal Gear channel. See y'all there. Peace.